Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us today for our live video. My name is Gabby, and I'm joined here with Scott Cunningham and Michelle Duggar from the Boys Town Pediatric Weight Management Spark Clinic. Summer is just about in full swing. I know for a lot of people watching, schools are getting out this week, last week, and probably next week too. So as families transition into the summer months, it can be quite a bit of change with schedules, eating habits, exercise, things like that. So, we're going live today to talk about ways to make these healthy summer habits attainable and easier to implement for families. So, as we go through our live discussion today, if you have questions for Scott or Michelle, go ahead and leave them in the comments section of this video. Make sure you give it a like. So I briefly introduced you both, but if you could both please tell us more about yourselves and your role at Boys Town, that would be great. We'll go ahead and start with Scott in the middle.
Yes, my name is Scott Cunningham. I'm a physical therapist. My role at Boys Town is to evaluate and treat musculoskeletal disorders and help the youth develop heart healthy and strengthening programs, and then basically promote fitness through our youth.
Yeah, I'm Michelle Duggar. I'm the behavioral therapist with the program. So my role is to really help families make those difficult changes. We focus on strategies. We focus on developing new and healthy habits. We focus on kind of creating those new habits that are going to contribute to overall just better mental and emotional health in addition to the physical health.
Mm-hmm. I always love doing these lives with our Spark Clinic because it really is one of those places at Boys Town that has a very holistic approach. So, you get physical therapy, we get behavioral health, we get, dietetics in the clinic. And so there's a lot of different areas that are great to highlight. So thank you for explaining that. And I'll make sure too to link our website to the Spark Clinic. So if you're interested in learning more after this video, you can read more there. Okay, so like I said, summer is almost here. So what are some tips that you both have for the change in routine going from kids being in school all day to having more flexibility in the summer months? Scott, if you'd start.
Yeah. The main thing is, even though it's summertime, is to have a schedule. I recommend that kids do a stretching program in the morning just to kind of get themselves up and moving around. And probably the most important thing is to go outdoors. Just go out and have some fun, get some fresh air, get some sunshine, be outdoors, things that you can't do always in the school year. And then also set some daily goals, some things that you want to do, maybe a new activity, and plan your exercises for the day. Maybe you're going for a walk, maybe you're going swimming, but just try to keep an activity in each day just to help keep you healthy.
Yeah, I love that stretching tip, even for adults and parents watching, before we start work in the morning, get a little 10-minute stretch in to start the day.
Definitely. We all kind of benefit from it.
Yeah. Michelle, what are your thoughts? What tips do you have?
Yeah, consistency is key when it comes to any kind of routine, anything we're doing with ourselves. Our brains really like consistency. They like to know what's expected, what's coming next. And so keeping that same routine that we have throughout the rest of the year can be really helpful overall to just give us motivation and help us reach our goals. So really anything we can do to help with that. I love Scott's tip of having something planned every day that can also help with some of the boredom, of having a lot of free time during the summer.
Yeah. That kind of leads right into the next question. You touched on some of them like swimming and walking, but what are some other fun activities that families can participate in to maintain a healthy activity level? Scott?
Yeah, I feel like just doing like a family challenge, even push-up challenge, doing crunches challenge, step-up challenge, jumping jack challenge, anything that you can kind of come up with. A lot of people do like their own family Olympics. So just pick out an Olympic sport or Olympic activity and just do that with the family. So it kind of gets everybody together and doing the same thing and enjoying just being active. The other thing I would recommend as far as like challenges is match your outdoor activities to the amount of screen time you have each day. So if you have a lot of screen time, you should have a lot of outdoor activity too, and help that balance. That's probably the most important thing in the summer, is just to keep a good balance, even though you're not in school.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that, I mean, leads right into the next question. A lot of the challenge of the summer months, and I know we get messages on this to our page quite often, is how can we encourage our kids to do these fun summer activities, whether it's sports, family challenges, Olympics, when they just want to be inside, watching TV, playing video games, spending hours on the iPad?
Yeah. One of the best things that we can do is set expectations around it, right? Help them understand what is expected of them. So let them know, like, hey, you got to be involved in something, whether it's a part-time job or maybe they like to play a sport, a club, some kind of activity. Like, offer them choices, but also let them choose. They're more likely to be active and out doing stuff if they get to choose what they want to do. So that can also give them more of a sense of responsibility with it as well. So giving them options, helping them choose. The other thing can be also modeling. Parents modeling that behavior for their kids. If they see parents on their phone or watching TV a lot, they're going to want to do that too. So making sure that there's other options out there, planning fun activities, maybe going to the park after dinner, or just different things to do together as a family can also help remain connected with your kids too. Keep in the know of what's going on in their world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I love what you said about modeling, especially at the end of a long work day after dinner, we just want to lay on the couch and watch TV as a family. But, even as parents making the promise, okay, after dinner, we'll go on a 20-minute walk. And it benefits, just as you said, more than just physical health, but hey, here's 20 minutes of catch up time with my kid after I've been working all day to hear about how their day was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The next question is, let's talk about healthy eating this summer. So what advice do you both have to maintain healthy diets? Do you have any good recipes to share? There's a lot we could go into. Fruits that I wrote down, what fruits are in season, healthy barbecues, what can we do to really amp up the healthy eating this summer?
Yeah. The biggest thing that I talk about is health should be fun, right? Healthy things are fun. Like when we feel good, we feel good, right? Feeling good physically helps us feel good mentally too. And we're more likely to go out and do the things that we want to be doing and stay motivated. So doing fun things together, like going to the farmer's market or going to the grocery store and helping, pick out the fruits and veggies that you're going to eat that week. Maybe trying a new way of cooking it. Grilling things is great in the summer. Fruits and veggies can just give a little bit of a different flavor or sometimes even texture, make it a little more exciting than it usually is throughout the rest of the year.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing to consider too is balance, right? We want to enjoy our summer. Summer only comes around once again. We only get it, so long in Nebraska. So we really want to be able to enjoy those little bits of summer too. We want to enjoy the ice cream and the fun times, but we want to have balance. So some examples, maybe going to the park and playing for a couple hours and stopping on the way home for ice cream, or bringing fresh fruit slices to games, having sugar-free popsicles for picnics. Things like that can still bring in that summer enjoyment while also keeping us on track with our health goals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Another place, a website that they can go to is fruitandveggies.org. Just for some helpful hints, especially with seasonal fruits like grapes, watermelon, pineapple, kiwi, just some things, just try different things. The summertime is a great time to just kind of explore and try things, and you'll see a lot of fruits around, so they're easy to get as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just made sure to link that website in the comments so people can check it out. I'll have to look at that too. I swear I'm always at the grocery store and I'm like, okay, what fruit is in season? I can never remember. So awesome. Okay. Oh, and I want to mention too, we do have on Facebook, if you're watching on Facebook, a Boys Town Pediatric Weight Management Spark Clinic group. So within that Facebook group, if you search it, and I'll link it too, you can share recipes. If you have a fun recipe, a healthy one that's worked for your family, or we also have dietitians at the Spark Clinic that I've seen posting recipes. So I'll link that too for everyone to check out. Okay, let's talk hydration. So with all the time spent in the sun this summer, how can families stay properly hydrated and healthy in that way?
Yeah, one of the standards was that for hydration was to drink about 64 ounces of water a day, which is about 8 ounce glasses of water, which seems like a lot, but really that is actually a little bit low. What they recommend is that we drink about half of our body weight in water, in ounces of water. So as an example, if you weigh 100 pounds, you want to drink 50 ounces of water a day. If you weigh 200 pounds, you'd want to drink about 100 ounces of water a day, which seems like a lot. So just keep that in mind that most people are dehydrated most of the time. And if you're thirsty, you're dehydrated. So you need to drink water, especially in the summer months when we're sweating more regularly, and try to keep up on that hydration. One of the things that's important is the electrolytes and having a good balance of that as well. Sometimes they have drinks that have some electrolytes in them, like Propel or Pedialyte. Those can be a good option as well. But most of the time, I tell people just good old-fashioned water is one of the best things that you can do.
Yeah, definitely. I always you saw me drinking out of it earlier. This is like 40 ounces. So I keep it on my desk all day because if it's not like right with me, I will completely forget. So I like that you said that. Okay, the next question is, in planning family trips this summer, so talking travel, how can we incorporate healthy living when we are often on the go, eating fast food on road trips, things like that? Michelle, if you want to start.
Yeah, definitely. Finding things ahead of time can be really helpful, right? So maybe looking at your destination and seeing what's there, especially with activities, but even restaurants too, like what are some fun things we can do outside as a family? What are ways we can maybe make that a little bit more challenging to us? Maybe we always go for a walk, let's go for a hike. Things eating wise, we can look for restaurants that maybe have different food options than are available to us here. If you're going somewhere, maybe on one of the coasts, trying out fresh seafood that we don't always have available here. Different things like that. And also looking for some of those healthier menus or options on the menu can be a great option to both enjoy the time away while also staying on track with your health and well-being.
A couple of tips that you can do too is look at adding a salad or having that as part of your meal or all of your meal. Looking for more grilled options as opposed to fried. Having your dressing or sauces on the side as opposed to on them. That way you can kind of control how much of those you're using. And then substituting things like fruit and yogurt and like a smoothie for French fries. Can be a very healthy option, but still be fun and still enjoy your meal.
Yes, great. And definitely planning ahead with trips. I mean, it's always hard for me. I get to the airport, I'm like, oh man, I should have packed like a granola bar instead of having to buy one at the store, things like that. Okay, so we've got about 3 more questions here for Scott and Michelle. So if you're watching live and you have a question about healthy summer habits, Now would be the time to leave it in the comments. If you're watching this video later on after this live has concluded and you still have a remaining question, you can always message our page directly and I can get an answer for you from them. Okay, so talking about sleep routines, let's talk about those and their effects on health. So should we let our kids sleep in late for the summer since they have that free time, or should we keep them on a more routine sleep schedule? And does it kind of depend on their age?
Yeah. So a really good rule of thumb is we should be awake when the sun is up and asleep when the sun is down. This helps us in so many different ways, but especially at night when we're sleeping, our body does so much healing, and it can also help with weight management. You know, the more we're away from our natural body rhythms, our natural circadian rhythm, the more likely we are going to be able to gain the weight that we probably don't want to have. And so staying on a consistent sleep schedule is important. There's a couple different caveats to that. You know, maybe if you wake up at 6 a.m. during the school year, you probably don't have to wake up at that same time during the summer. But, you know, a couple hours is probably not going to be terrible. It's, you know, getting to 11 a.m., noon, or even later, that tends to be more difficult, because then what happens is later in the day, you're not going to feel tired when you need to.
Right.
Sorry, my lights went off. You're not going to feel tired, and then it's going to take longer to go to sleep. And then you're kind of starting this cycle of being asleep when or being awake, sorry, in the middle of the night, and then it just throws everything off. Another benefit to staying on routine is that at the end of the summer, when you're going back to school, it's going to be a lot easier to get back into that back to school routine. And I don't think we think about that often enough when it comes to keeping a consistent routine. Is it's going to be a lot easier later on.
A lot of the recommendations are for like falling to sleep is to, read a book, just do some reading of some nature, but not on screens. Even having some white noise that sometimes helps people to fall asleep, or some light music that's calming, can definitely help people fall to sleep. But avoiding the blue light, which is like our computer screens, is important, because that actually stimulates us as opposed to allowing us to relax, and it actually suppresses the melatonin, which is a way that helps us to kind of relax and fall asleep. So for people that have trouble with that, avoid that blue light before you go to bed. And then also caffeine, watch how much caffeine you're taking, especially toward the end of the day, because that's a stimulant again and will keep you up as opposed to letting you fall asleep naturally. And then another thing they recommend too is with naps. Some people are nappers. I used to be able to take naps.
Yeah.
When I was younger, is to try to limit your naps to about 20 minutes. You don't want to get into a deep sleep with your naps, because then you might have trouble sleeping at night. So that's another recommendation they have.
Yeah, that's great. So this question's a little bit similar, but let's talk teenagers. So our older kids who might be feeling a little bit more lazy in the summer, maybe their sports, aren't as busy for some kids, sleeping till 10, wanting to stay in the basement versus going outside and getting some movement in. How can we as parents motivate those older kids?
Yeah, this has a lot to do with that planning ahead idea too, right? Planning activities to do during the day. And it also goes back to how we talked about setting expectations. So having some kind of expectation for either, you're doing chores, maybe walking the dog, you get a part-time job, an activity, something to plan in your day so that you don't wake up thinking, well, there's nothing to do today, so I might as well sleep. I think that's what happens a lot. So making sure that there's something planned for the day, not only for fun, but also to help maintain that routine. And we're more likely to struggle with weight gain as well, or we may be developing unhealthy habits when we're bored. And so planning activities to do can be super helpful with, staying on track with things.
And kind of like we discussed before, is showing interest in your child and doing things with them. That can be very positive and very influential on them. Positive reinforcements for doing good things. And then also volunteering is another great way to get out there and just have something to look forward to and something constructive to do in the summer months.
Another thing I want to mention too that we talk about a lot is the idea of earning things, right? A lot of times I think screens can be looked at as an expectation when really it's something to be earned. And so a lot of times that can help with being able to earn screen time by doing something off of screens, right? And then saying there's nothing wrong with your phone or watching TV, but you do need to balance it with activities off of that too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, we've got one more question here. So before we log off this live, I wanted to ask both of you if you have any last tips to share in helping families develop those healthy summer habits.
One of the things that could be really helpful is helping your teens set goals for themselves, right? Setting small goals, like Scott mentioned earlier. Maybe a new hobby, maybe you want to improve in a sport, develop some kind of new activity, whatever it is, to keep them engaged, keep them active, keep them physically and mentally healthy throughout these months when we do typically have less going on. In addition to maybe creating some fun activities to do as a family. I love the idea of family bucket lists, like they do around the holidays. There's a lot of ideas in addition to summer. Like, what are some things that would be fun to do as a family this summer? And everybody can contribute, and everybody can have a say in the fun that they have over the summer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, kind of a summary of everything we've been talking about is one of the things, stay hydrated. One of the best ways to understand if you're hydrated, to check that you're hydrated, is that your urine color should be a pale straw yellow, not bright yellow. If it's bright yellow, you're pretty much dehydrated. If you're going to be outside, use sunscreen, obviously, to protect your skin. Be outside, do outdoor activities in the summer. Don't just be a couch potato and be inside. Eat fresh fruits and fun things, get plenty of rest and sleep, and then make sure you're seeing your medical professionals for regular checkups and be a healthy you.
Yes. Perfect. Well, we just try over the next week after we watch this video just to do a little bit of those things every day. We'll kind of build on those healthy summer habits, and they'll carry us into the other months, fall, winter, spring as well. So Scott and Michelle, it's been an honor to have you on. Thank you for always sharing your expertise in this area.
Thank you, Gabby.
Thank you.
Thank you. And thanks to everyone who watched. Make sure you like this video, and we'll catch you next time. Have a great rest of